I'm Jeff Cornwall, and this is the Entrepreneurial Mind. Today my guest is Erin Anderson with Olivia Management.
Healthcare reform has generated over 15,000 pages of regulations, filled with increased complexity, compliance, and cost for your business. You could spend the time and money to figure it out, or you can trust Insperity to handle it for you with one stroke of the pen. We are ready for healthcare reform. Are you?
Talkopolis, the social media TV network for your city.
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's always a treat when I get to talk with someone who at one point sat in one of my classes. Actually, more than one.
Yeah, lots of your classes.
Yeah. So you studied entrepreneurship at Belmont, and then you studied some more entrepreneurship at Vanderbilt, and then you went off and did what?
I went off and I worked at Amazon.com.
Huge corporation.
Yes.
So what was your thought process? Why did you decide after all those years of studying entrepreneurship to go off and...
Well, I knew I had the entrepreneurial bug, and I knew that I wanted to work for myself someday, but I kept waiting for that bright idea to hit me, and I'm not a super creative person, and so I was hoping I was going to invent something like Spotify, or I was going to invent something like Facebook, and so I took all these entrepreneurial courses and interacted with all these entrepreneurs, and I just never had that great idea. So when I graduated from Vanderbilt with my MBA,
needed a job.
I needed a job, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I got recruited by Amazon MP3, because my background is the music business, and they just made it worth my while. And I had never experienced so many, just been around so many smart people before. So when they flew me out there to interview, I was just totally swept away by the thing they had created and the caliber of people working there. And I really thought that I needed to go learn from some other people for a while before I started my own company. And I went out there for almost 2 years and learned a ton, but woke up one day and said, I can't do this anymore. I can't work for this big organization.
Was it that kind of an aha moment, or was it something that you knew all along and finally admitted to yourself?
I knew all along that someday I would start my own company, but I went out there with an open mind thinking I could do this for 2 years, I could do this for 5 years, I'm going to do it as long as it satisfies me.
Right.
And there was a moment where I woke up one morning and said, I can't work for other people anymore. I want to work for myself.
But you still didn't have that Spotify idea. So,
right.
So what'd you do?
Yeah, so as I said, my background was in the music business, and so a band that I was a fan of from Nashville came through Seattle on tour. And we went to get a bite to eat after the show, and we were just talking about...
And you should plug them, because you work with them.
Yes, the band is called Daniel Ellsworth and the Great Lakes. And we went to get a bite to eat, and they were talking about how they were in Nashville and they were looking for a manager. And kind of joking, the lead singer of the band said to me, I really wish you'd move back to Nashville and manage us. And that was my light bulb moment, where I thought, wow, my background in entrepreneurship, and I double majored in music business as well. Right. My passion for the music business, my education in entrepreneurship, it all kind of led up to that moment where I said, okay, I've got this great education. I've got this great education from working for a big corporation, specifically in the music industry within Amazon.
Right.
And it all kind of led up to this moment where I said, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I can come help this band achieve their dreams by trying to be smart in business.
So you called your dad and you said, Dad,
I'm moving back to Nashville. Yeah.
I'm quitting this great paying job and starting a little music business company.
Well, I'm lucky. I come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Right.
So my dad said, way to go, high five.
Cool.
He was very proud of me and excited for me and has been a great support.
Cool.
Yeah.
So was it a scary decision?
It actually wasn't. Because it just felt like exactly what I was supposed to do next. And it felt like I had reached the end of my time at Amazon, and all of my life and my experiences and my preparation and my education led up to that moment. And it just felt like this is what I'm supposed to do next, and I'm going to go try it and do the best that I can at it.
So the first day you didn't get a paycheck.
That was a hard day.
Because then there was going to be another day and another day.
Sure. Yeah. It's been interesting watching it grow and figuring out how to make ends meet. I didn't take out loans. I didn't take on investors. I wanted to build something small myself. And I've just, been lucky to work with some really talented musicians that have had some really great things happen for them. So, I get paid when they get paid. So if I'm out there working hard and helping them get new opportunities, that's when I'm making money.
But you did bootstrap early on too to help.
Yes, I worked out of a coffee shop for about 9 months.
Right.
Then I rented a desk from a friend in the corner of their office for the next 9 months. And I just recently, about 3 months ago, rented my own office finally. So I tried to scale things slowly, as my business slowly grew.
Was signing that lease a scary step for you, or were you ready?
I was ready. Yeah.
You felt confident and
Yeah, and I needed more space, and I needed to feel like it was my own. And I feel like every time I take a step out and make a decision to grow my business, it's just at the right time. So I'm, rented a new office space, and I'm just now at this point where I need to hire somebody to be my assistant and to help me grow even further.
Your first employee?
Yes, that's coming up.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a scary step too.
It is. Because then I'm not just responsible for myself.
You've
I'm
got
now
another mouth to
responsible
feed.
for
Yeah.
another mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you going to look for in that kind of person?
That
first hire is so important.
Yes, and I definitely will take any advice that you have on that. I'm definitely looking for, a personality fit with my organization. I really want to be kind of a homegrown type of management company that makes all of my artists feel like they're family. So, the music business can be cutthroat, but I don't want to be cutthroat. I want to really look out for the best interests of my artists and do right by them and do right by the people we do business with. So I'll be looking for that. I'll be looking for someone who's just really hungry, someone who probably has somewhat of an entrepreneurial spirit as well that can kind of bounce ideas off of, I can bounce ideas off of them, and someone that wants to grow it with me.
Probably someone a lot like you when you graduate, I would imagine.
Yes.
Interesting. So, so what's your vision for this? I mean, at first it was, I just have to get enough steady business going with these people to pay me.
Right.
And now you've got space, and you're going to hire a first employee. Where do you see this going? What do you want this to become?
I want it to become bigger. I really do. I'm personally emotionally invested in the artists that I work with, but I'd love to find other people like me that aren't as comfortable with the ambiguity and aren't as comfortable with the months where no money's coming in the door. I'd like to go find those people and bring them under the Olivia Management umbrella and say, okay, let me pay you a steady salary with benefits, and you come work under the Olivia Management umbrella, and we'll work together to grow your artists. And then when the artists hopefully explode and they start doing really well, Olivia Management can grow because of that, and we can pay kind of steady salaries to other managers like me.
It's an exciting time.
It is.
It's an exciting time.
It
So
is.
tell us a little bit about who you work with while we have
Yes.
just a couple minutes.
Yeah, I currently manage 3 artists. I like to describe the style of artist I like to work with. Pretty much anyone that would be played on Lightning 100 in Nashville. It's a radio station. So anyone in the indie rock and roll, Americana, alt country genre. So I currently work with 3 artists. I work with an indie rock band called Daniel Ellsworth and the Great Lakes. I work with a singer-songwriter.
Who my 2 kids went to high school with.
Yes, it's a
in
small
Woodbury,
world.
Minnesota. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And they're from the Great Lakes region, which is why they're called that, even though they all live
Right.
here now.
Right.
And then I work with a singer-songwriter who lives in Brooklyn named Micah Dalton. And I also work with a roots Americana, slightly bluegrass artist named David Mayfield, and his band is
Right.
called the David Mayfield Parade.
Yep. Good band.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And so you're doing some other consulting work as well. Is that something you want to build into this, or is that?
No, that's something I want to kind of fall off by the wayside.
That's one of those things you do to help pay the rent until
Absolutely.
the core business gets
Absolutely,
going.
yeah.
Which is a good lesson, I think, for entrepreneurs, is they have to be flexible early on to,
Right.
to do whatever you need to do.
Right. And I've been, I've been really blessed by both Belmont and Vanderbilt staying connected with both of my alma maters. It's kind of sent some business my way. So, you sent me a consulting client a couple years ago, and Vanderbilt has sent me some people that, they get approached and say, hey, can your marketing class help my music business? And if they don't have an opportunity for that, they say no, but we've got this alumnus that does music business consulting, you should talk to her. So it's been a great kind of referral system for me.
Well, I'm so very proud of what you've accomplished and can't wait to hear what's yet to come.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all for being with us today.
Bandwidth for today's show is brought to you by SoftLayer.com. We love SoftLayer here at Talkopolis. They are the greatest hosting company ever. They make everything easy. Check out their website at SoftLayer.com. Thanks again for sponsoring the show.